now that I have realized that He is in control, that everything is His plan, and once I've accepted that, then it actually gave me a much better peace than I've ever thought possible. I was 19 and I was living alone. I was going to college and ended up meeting a girl. We ended up getting pregnant a couple of times before getting married. Very, very stressful for our second pregnancy though. In and out of the hospital quite a bit, and preterm labor. She tried having the baby at 18 weeks. And it was just a very, very stressful time. And it was a time whenever I wouldn't ask anybody for help, and I wouldn't lean on her for help because I was letting her lean on me. And I was just trying to be the strong man that everybody tries to be, and what we were taught to do. It's what my dad was. He was always that strong person and didn't ask for help or anything. He just did it and got it done. Unfortunately, that marriage actually ended up not working out about three or 4 years after my last one was born. I was hurt, but I started looking for ways to move on. I started seeing a therapist. That helped some. Tried to a couple of churches. It just didn't click. So I started going outdoors. Went back to my roots. Grew up going outdoors, so I started going back outdoors, hiking, camping. The big one that got me was whitewater kayaking. I would just spend time with God in that peace, but I never spent any time getting deeper into the Word. I never read the Bible or anything like that. I then met another woman. Her faith was very strong. She was a member here at LifePoint, and I started coming to LifePoint with her and started learning and understanding more and pursuing more best I could. And we went to groups together. We went, I came to Grit a couple of times, and we kept trying to find a connection. We never really could, and it was hard to do. We ended up getting a divorce as well. That one, it hurt a lot more, I guess, because I knew more about the meaning of marriage and what the Bible said that marriage was about. Easter of 2021, I got baptized, and that's whenever I really started trying to pursue and trying to be more like Jesus. Whenever she told me she wanted a divorce, I remember going into my closet and just hitting the ground, pretty much laid out on my belly, crying. The whole time I was sitting there praying to God, praying to Jesus, just please walk with me with this, guide me through this. What I got back was, okay, study more. So I started getting into devotionals and short Bible readings, and went to a couple of small groups for just men, and it just, again, nothing was clicking. There wasn't a good connection. The timing and everything never really worked out. Then one Sunday service, they announced the Rooted. It was almost immediately I signed up online for it and got connected with a good group of guys there. It had accountability. It was more structured. It wasn't just guys getting together and talking. It was like a plan, and you had a set goal at the end of it. The goal that I wanted to set was to grow more in my understanding of God and try to be there for my kids, to be a better dad for them and everything. At Rooted, we learned how to pray in front of people, and more importantly, we learned how to listen. Learned how important it was to stop and listen and actually try to understand what God was saying back to you. We definitely saw a lot of prayers answered through Rooted, not just me, but other people as well. Constantly talking to Him and praying to Him, and okay, I know this is your plan, God, but I'm struggling today. I need you to help me through this. Or, I don't see it, but I'm walking through it with you. For any guys that are out there that are struggling like I am, or even if you're not struggling, if you're trying to find a better connection with the church, with God, with His Word. If you're married, come bring your spouse. I know a bunch of people that did it, that were in a married group, and they loved it. It will change you. It will change the way you see yourself. It will change the way that you see Jesus and see the church. You have a whole group of like-minded people. For me, it was a bunch of guys, and There were times whenever I would just not say a word and I would just listen. And I would get more out of their stories and listening to their point of views, their struggles, than I ever would of me talking or just reading out of the book. And so that's what I got most out of it, is I did get a better understanding on what God wants from me, what Jesus wants from me. I do appreciate the blessings that I've seen Him bestow on me ever since going through this divorce. Whenever I think back to the divorce, and there are things that still pop up that I haven't been able to let go of, and it causes a lot of bitterness. Definitely, there's still some hurt there that I'm going through and dealing with. And every time that little monster pops up, I try to pray it back and talk to God and say, please just take this away from me. I don't want to think these thoughts anymore. I want to move on, forgive, and heal. My name's Jesse, and I'm a man of grit.